In August of 2006, we were getting ready to celebrate Andrew's 5th birthday. We were just like many of you, regular parents, doing regular things, soccer games, swimming, birthday parties, all of the regular things that we do. One day, it was on a Saturday evening, it was about 6 o'clock at night, and Andrew has 2 siblings, an older sister and a younger brother, and they were playing in our home. As children do, Andrew was playing on a chair and fell down and bumped his head on our hardwood floors. And as children do, they cry, and at some point they are easily consoled. Although Andrew did not become easily consoled. After about an hour, I was continually worried about Andrew, because although like his other siblings, it was not like him to continue on being visibly upset. So I called my husband, who was out running errands, and said, I think I'm going to take him down to Altaview Hospital, which is a local hospital close to our home. It was on a Saturday night, and he said, no problem. I ran Andrew down there. The ER doctor looked at him, and he says, I don't see anything wrong with him. I think he's fine. I don't think that you have any cause for concern. As we walked out the door, he looked at me, and he said, if he were my child, I would take him to Primary Children's Medical Center. Well, if it was good enough for him, it was good enough for me. So I went home and got a few of Andrew's things. And Andrew and I made the journey to Primary Children's Medical Center. Although it's only about a half an hour from our house, I think it is the longest drive I've ever made. We got to Primary Children's. Andrew was still visibly upset, but starting to calm down a bit. And I told my husband, I'm just going to take him to the ER at Primary Children's Medical Center. It's a Saturday night. I'm sure that there's nobody there. We'll be in and out. I was so wrong. I had no idea that all of the Salt Lake Valley is in Primary Children's Medical Center on a Saturday night. Unbeknownst to me, we walk in, standing room only, and that is not an exaggeration. Every seat, every wall, every corner, almost every piece of floor was taken. So at this point, it's almost 9 o'clock at night, and I have a child who bumped his head, but although does not seem visibly disturbed at the time, so we were not top on the list. By about 11 o'clock at night, though, we did see an ER doctor who also came in and looked at Andrew, and he said, I think he's fine. I don't think you have any cause for concern. I will get your papers and we will discharge you. Half an hour later, he came in with the papers and said, I would like to do a CT scan of Andrew before you go home. Okay, that would be fine. At almost midnight, the sweet doctor, who had just a few more minutes of his shift, who was to leave at midnight, came in with a look that I've never seen, nor have seen since. And he says, Andrew has a mass in his head. A mass? Do you mean a tumor? Yes. Will he live? I don't know. You are very lucky that this little boy is still alive. I don't know how he has made it to this point. You are very lucky. He says, in the morning we will do an MRI and decide what we need to do. Again, being extremely naive, I said, can I take him home? Thinking maybe that would make it all go away. No, you cannot take him home. You will be lucky if he lives through the night. Within minutes, we were taken through hallways and doorways and locked everything to the PICU, where neurosurgery met us. Various members of neurosurgery were there on a Saturday night at midnight to talk to us about what Andrew might have. They made a list because I couldn't understand the words they were using. What could it be? He wrote down a list on a yellow sticky note and said it could be this one, or this one, or this one. I said, which one do we want? He goes, you want number 1, but you're not going to get it. You'll be lucky if you get number 2, and let's hope it's not number 3. Okay. He stayed with us throughout the entire night. As I sat there and watched this little boy, I just thought this couldn't possibly be happening to us. Hours ago, we were swimming. Things were fine. Morning time came, and they did an MRI. Indeed confirmed that Andrew had a brain tumor sitting on his brainstem, which they determined would be operable, and by noon, Andrew was wheeled down the hallway to brain surgery. I thought I was saying goodbye, but luckily I wasn't. night came and Andrew came out and was doing well. He recovered well in the PICU and was doing great. By Tuesday, we were transferred to neurotrauma, which sounded terrible to me, but was a big step up apparently from the PICU. So we sat in neurotrauma, which we were thrilled to be there. And Tuesday afternoon, Andrew started having some complications. I thought, really, can the boat actually drop any further? Does the boat, how does it get worse? You say, how does it get worse? On Tuesday, Andrew ended up with complications from brain surgery where he lost his ability to see, his ability to walk, and had no ability to talk. Just days before, I had this little boy, and it was like somebody had stolen him and just given me his body, but nothing else. I couldn't communicate with him other than to talk to him, but he could not talk back to me. He couldn't tell me if he was hungry. He could not see where he was. Days felt like weeks, and weeks were like months, and I felt like we had been there a year. In reality, it was only about 4 weeks. After 4 weeks in neurotrauma, one day Andrew and I sat down to watch cartoons. His sight had come back at that point, but he still could not talk, nor could he walk. And then we sat down and we were watching Scooby-Doo. Of course, we had a one-sided conversation like we always did. I said, Andrew, do you like Scooby-Doo? Do, he said. It's the most magical word I had ever heard. And to this day, I think it still is. He said, do you like Scooby-Doo? Yes. One word at a time, one very painful word, Andrew started coming back. It was like watching a bud of a flower go into a beautiful blossoming rose all in one day. By nighttime, the nurses asked if we would please leave our door open because they wanted to hear him talk. We had been there a month. We were kind of an icon at that point. And people would walk by and say, is that Andrew? Did he talk? And tears of joy would weep. And people would watch miracles unfold. You see these miracles, they happen in your hospital every day. A nurse looked at me one day and said, miracles happen here every day. I said, I know, and this is the miracle I need. I need this. She said, miracles come in time. They will come. And they did. After a month, we got to recover for a couple of weeks at home when Andrew started 30 days of radiation. After his 30 days of radiation, we again got to recover for a short time where Andrew began 56 weeks of chemotherapy at Primary Children's. It was our home away from home, our dearest friends, our most joyous moments and our darkest hours, all at the same place, most of the time in the same room. Miracles happen. They happen because of what you do. What every one of you do every day at the hospital where you're at changes the lives of people like Andrew and changes families like mine. We have been forever blessed by a children's hospital. For what Children's Hospital does is truly a gift. We are grateful for the gift you have provided for our family and for our little boy. Andrew would love to share with you some of the things that he loves about Primary Children's Medical Center.
What I really like about Primary Children's Hospital is I like the doctors and nurses, and there was this one time where I had a cleaning lady in my room. Her name was Sharon, and my mom and me were trying to take some medicine, and she slapped $1 down and told me if I took my medicine, she could have it. And I like the people that are there. I like the cafeteria.